Justin, I am on a crazy journey to help people understand the rules of the game. If you play games, you know that the most important part of winning is understanding the nuances, the rules of that game, so you can use the rules in your favor to win. So that's what life is all about. Life is nothing more than a series of rules, a series of decisions you have to make about how you're going to live your life. So I am taking the Entrepreneurial Tax Strategy brand that I created earlier this year, and I'm turning it into a podcast. This podcast is designed to help people understand the tax code. That's the tax code right there. It's massive. There is so much in the tax code that if you don't know the rules of the game, you cannot win the game. The tax code's written for you and me. It is up to us to understand those rules. So how I'm going to be using this show is interviewing other experts, interviewing other CPAs, EAs, financial advisors, people who already know tax strategy, people who are already great at it. And I'm going to be sharing what they've learned through their journey with everyone. And our goal is to understand the rules so that we can work as a team to build out our future, to build out our life. So I want to walk through some of the stuff I've learned in the past 2 years around tax strategy, just to whet your appetite. And then follow along. If you want, subscribe, like this channel, because we are going to be interviewing people all around tax strategy. And if you are a tax strategy expert and would like to come share your knowledge, I want to invite you to come join us because we're in this together. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I want to talk you through how we help people build net worth. So the first thing you've got to do is you've got to understand there's only 3 things that need to happen when it comes to increasing your net worth. The first thing you have to do is you have to increase production, or you have to increase revenue. Increasing revenue, how much money comes into your system. The second thing you have to do is you have to increase production efficiencies or decrease costs. You've got to figure out, how do I keep more of the money that I've made? And the third thing you have to do is you have to decrease your tax liability. My background, I see myself as a revenue tax strategist. My skill set is sales and marketing. It is not tax strategy. It's not decreasing tax liability. It's increasing revenue. So that's what I focus on individually. But you have to learn the rules of the game to be successful. So today I'm going to be talking you through some of the rules that I've learned. So the first thing you have to understand is the difference between a tax deduction and a tax credit. See, a tax deduction lowers the amount of taxable income that you get taxed on. So a $10,000 tax deduction, if your net profit's $100,000, you get a $10,000 tax deduction. Now your taxable income's $90,000, assuming, I believe it's 30% tax bracket on that, which is hidden right under my name, actually. So assuming that 30% tax bracket, you're going to pay $27,000 in tax. Now let's look at a tax credit. You've got net profit, still $100,000. You don't get any of the taxable deductions. Taxable income is $100,000. You owe $30,000 of taxes, but a tax credit pays your taxes. So now that $10,000 comes off. Now you only pay $20,000 in taxes instead of $27,000. So this is just an example. You should always consult an expert who's doing your taxes. Just blanket information does not help. Just so you know, it needs to be specific to you. But if you don't understand this, you won't know how you want to move your money. So you've got to first understand the difference between deductions and credits. Next, you need to understand the benefit of a holding company. How billionaires make and hold their money tax-free is all through how they're structuring their lives. So you got to learn the tax code. Then you use the tax code by funneling asset money into one asset, and that asset is designed to grow tax-free over time. So if you go out and look at it, most billionaires use the tax code to maintain their wealth. And that's what I want to encourage all of you to do. Look at, how am I structuring my financial life? Do I personally own the assets? Does my trust own the assets? Does an LLC? Do I have my own holding company? Is it active? Is it passive? These are all questions you need to be asking your financial planners. You need to be asking your financial advisor, your CPA, your EA, who you're working with on a regular basis. And if you're not working with someone, that's a problem. Let me ask you, how often do you look at your taxes? Once a year, right? How often do you think a CPA looks at taxes overall? Every single day. If you do not use someone to help you with your tax liability, you are leaving money on the table. Find an excellent CPA. Find an excellent accountant. There's thousands of them out there. I'm in a number of groups. There are some great people out there. Use them. Use their brain. I look at a brain like a computer. I've got 35 years of experience as Justin Stevens. I want to work with a CPA. I want to work with an EA who has 35 years of experience, right? So you're going to want to look at your holding company. How is all that structured? The next thing you want to look at is research and development tax credits. This is something most people don't understand, that when you're developing something new, the government wants us to do that. So they give us tax credits to invest in improvements. Use that. Take advantage of that. 95% of small businesses that are eligible for research and development tax credits don't take advantage of it. They don't even know they're eligible. So find an expert in R&D tax credits. Sit down with them. Have them look through your stuff and figure out, what could you do? What tax credits could you get back for the money that you've already invested? Next, look at the employee retention tax credit. The government uses taxes to control us. When COVID hit, they put out the ERTC, this tax credit, because they didn't want people going on unemployment. They wanted to incentivize us as business owners to keep them employed. That's where this tax credit comes from. Talk to your CPA, talk to your EA, talk to your financial team, and figure out, can this work for you? Next, we want to dive into the Section 179 deductions. When you have a capital expense, you can deduct that up front, or you can amortize it out over years. That choice is yours. So you need to look at, how am I using this deduction to make my life better? How am I using this strategy year after year after year? So, for example, you can deduct equipment. Let's pretend you run a remodeling company and you buy a truck. That truck costs $65,000. You can deduct that entire $65,000 from your taxable income. Now, your tax savings, if you're in a 35% tax bracket, is $22,000 just from using Section 179 to deduct. The problem, this truck still costs you $42,000. So this is only a tax savings if you need the asset. If you don't need a new truck and go buy a new truck, what you've done is you've invested $42,000 you didn't need to invest into this truck when it could have been invested somewhere else. And that choice is up to you. So then we look at real estate strategies. Real estate is one of the best places for you to put your money in America. So the 1031 exchange, you can put money into a real estate, you can sell that asset, buy another asset. If you do it within 90 days, you can buy it tax-free. So this is another strategy that you should look at and say, how does this fit into my situation? How does this fit into my goals? Next, cost segregation. Cost segregation is when you go into a building, you go in and say, hey, yes, the entire asset's going to last this long, but the doors, the carpet, the windows, there's the HVAC, there's things within that building that won't. So get a team who understands cost segregation and have them do a cost segregation study for you. Look through the assets you already own and say, hey, what could I do to get bonus depreciation now that I then roll that depreciation, that savings, into another asset that I can then roll into another asset? So cost segregation, it's a lot like a snowball. Once you get started, you want to keep it going, or else you're going to have a big tax bill come catch up with you. Next, solar. Who knows that solar is being pushed by the government, right? I do. So solar is a great tax strategy right now, but it won't be forever. So if you look at it for residential, this year it's 26% of the investment comes back to you in the form of a tax credit. Next year, 22%. The year after that, 0%. So if you're thinking about doing solar, now they could change all of this. This is where it sits as of right now. But if you're thinking about solar, right now, if you buy it this year, you get 26% of your money back in the form of a tax credit. That is huge. So talk to your CPA, find out, should I be looking at solar as part of my tax strategy? Because the benefit here, you put solar on your house, now you've added value to an asset you already own. It's going to continue appreciating. Instead of putting your money in a bank, you put it into the house, right? Tax strategy is all about how you use and move your money, not about saving money on taxes. So next is, how are you structured? Are you an LLC? Are you a C Corp? Are you an S Corp? And why are you structured that way? Are you taking reasonable compensation? If you are doing over $100,000 in profit and you're an LLC, should you be an S Corp? It could save you a boatload. In this example, you can see just this one strategy takes a sole proprietor from almost $12,000 in income or to $6,000 in tax, sorry. So you need to be looking at, how's my system structured? Should I be set up this way? Should I be set up as a C Corp? Should I be set up as an S Corp? Should I be an LLC? How do I want to run my financial life? If you don't make decisions based on the life you want to live, you're going to be stuck living the same life over and over again. You only get one life, so you need to have a good plan. Next, optimizing for small business tax deductions. This tax code, the tax code right there are so many opportunities in the tax code to optimize your life. Are you taking advantage of them? What does that look like? So make sure you have a team that you talk with. If you talk to your CPA or your accountant once a year or twice a year, you are doing it wrong. You need to be talking to them. I would recommend at least quarterly. Check in. Make sure they know where you're at and make sure you know what you need to be doing for the future you want to create. Next is retirement strategies. There are a ton of different vehicles to help us as Americans save money for retirement. So, what is the right strategy for you? What is the right vehicle that's going to help you? Your financial team will help you figure this out, but you need to build that financial team. Next, the Augusta rule. This is one of my favorites that I recently learned about. You can rent your house out for up to 14 days per year tax-free. So rent your house out to someone or to your own company as a tax strategy. Think of it like Airbnb. It's all about how we use and move our money. So after that, you can pay your kids and grandparents, family, people who work in your business and with you, you can pay them up to $12,000 per year tax-free. It's all in how it's set up. It's all in the system. But you need to make sure you're leveraging the tools and the rules that you have access to. Next, I want to talk about the most expensive tax in the world. The most expensive tax in the world is a tax on your time. A tax on your time chasing someone else's dream. So if you don't know your dream, you're paying this tax. So this is one of the things I've spent the entire year trying to figure out for myself, building what I call a life investment plan or life strategy plan. This plan is designed for me to make decisions on how I invest my time, what I want to do, what I want to accomplish. And it has taken me a boatload of time to even figure out how this all works together. So that's what I'm doing right now is I'm working my own life strategy plan. And it is 100% a work in progress. That's why I live my life publicly and do live videos like this, because I'm constantly adjusting my life investment plan because I know tomorrow I get another 24 hours. And the day after that, I get another 24 hours until I don't. I can always make more money. I can always build another business. I can always go out and try different things. I can never relive the time I invest. So once time passes, it's gone. So you need to have a plan for, this is my plan for 75-year-old Justin. 75-year-old Justin wants to look back on the journey. So I'm 36 today. So 75, 36, I got 40 years, right? Yes. So I've got 40 years to accomplish my vision. And that's why I set it up this way. You can see over here's my SWOT analysis. What's real world for me right now? Here's my core values. How do I want to show up? How do I want to present myself? Here's my 40-year vision. This is the vision I have for my life. How do I want to show up spiritually? How do I want to show up for my family, net worth, in my marriage, for self-growth, for self-care, in my career? These are all me. That is all me. I need to decide how I want to show up. So my 40-year vision, I look at that like the lighthouse, my lighthouse for making decisions. And as I make decisions, I can tweak it, I can change it, and I get better at what I'm trying to do. So that's why I tell people, listen, when you talk to financial advisors, they always say past history does not dictate future performance. That is true for everything and everyone. The technology we have, the technology that I'm using right now to broadcast on 5 different channels, a live video, I pay $15 a month for. $15. simple, easy. The access and resources we all have at our fingertips in today's day and age is insane. It is up to us to leverage it. And so that's what this life investment plan, life strategy plan is designed to do. Let you leverage the time you do have to make the biggest impact. Because if you aren't looking at your time as the number one tool that you need to leverage, you're looking at it wrong. So this is my 40-year vision. And then I break it down into, in the next 5 years, where do I need to be to get closer to my 40-year? And then I break it down. Next year, what are my annual goals? And then I break it down quarterly. This quarter, what do I need to do? What moves do I need to make? What conversations do I need to have to get closer to my 40-year goal? And so you guys are right at the beginning. I'm just getting started, and I got 40 years to figure this out. And this is where I'm going. So this is my plan. I think everyone out there should have a plan. And it's my goal to help teach people that plan. So if you would like to understand, one, the tax strategies better, and two, the life strategies better, I want to invite you to subscribe to America's Holding Company through Entrepreneurial Tax Strategy. What that means, I go live quarterly, just building out this with everybody. We're going to do a big event in December, building this out where we help people. So this is a course about how to build your own life strategy, how to set it up, how to manage it. So we're going to be working with you every month as a group. This is all broadcast through my social media channels. You won't get a new password because I don't want to manage passwords for you. If you lose your password, I need to reset it. I don't want that headache. So I do everything completely free for public. Anyone can participate. You don't even need to sign up as a client. I want you to learn how to do this. If you want to benefit from what I'm doing and be a part financially, you can, and I'd be honored to have you on my team. So next, if you do sign up, you get what I call an America's Holding Company access card. This access card it's one of those digital business cards that lets you access all your virtual information right online. So when you're out networking, you have an access card. You personally, not the company, not anyone else, but you have an access card that will give you a way to link to maybe school fundraisers or the companies you work with or your personal blog or your social, wherever you want to link people, it's all on this one card. And then you get to design. So this is my design for my card. You get to design one side of the card. So I designed mine based off who I am and then all the teams I've been on. So I'm part of America's Holding Company. I'm part of the state of Idaho. I'm part of that team. I pay taxes here. I'm part of the Forward movement. Forward's a new political party. I run the Entrepreneurial Tax Strategy podcast and the Prospecting Done For You podcast. Both of those are just getting started. This is the very first video for ETS. And then I work with project tools and I work with Datatel. I graduated from the University of Idaho. I graduated high school from Timberline. I was a Fiji. This is my family. And Sandler training was a huge part of my entire journey. And I want to promote what my parents still do, which is work as Sandler training. So that becomes my card that I can use. It's my access card to vote with America's Holding Company. So as we make decisions on how we want to learn and grow and change, we do that through America Holding Company access cards. So you get that. And then the last thing that you get is my friend Chris Middleton has developed an entire course called Tax Reduction University. He's been doing taxes for 20 years. He is an absolute rock star. And this course is designed to walk you through some of the strategies I talked about and a lot that I didn't. So you get access to that. If you would like to subscribe, it's $150 a month, and we have a 60-day money back guarantee, because I only want to work with people who want to be part of my team. And what we're doing as a team gets real big. I'm not going into all of that. This is just how we're helping people understand how to build their own net worth. So I want to first thank you. Thank you for taking the time being here on this video. And second, if you have questions, if you need help, reach out, put a comment down below. I'm going to be creating these videos. I'm going to be bringing in Chris Middleton. I'll be bringing in other tax experts to share their expertise with us. Because if you don't know the rules of the game, you cannot win the game. And that's what Entrepreneurial Tax Strategy is about, helping business owners understand the rules of the game. And so I want to thank DataTel. DataTel has sponsored all of this. DataTel sponsors Prospecting Done For You, ETS, and everything I do and bring to the table. So if you need help with your phone systems, if you need help with anything like that, that's what I do primarily through DataTel. So reach out, happy to help you there as well. But all of that to say, this is a team effort, and we are focused on the future. We're not focused on today. We're focused on 40 years from today. What moves do we need to make as a society to better ourselves? That's what we want to be doing. So if you need any help with that, reach out. We are here to serve. And with that said, I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to y'all soon.